俺はルフィ、海賊王になる男だ。
It's a great day here at Kekfilet's YouTube channel. Blah blah blah, blah 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 blah. I am the #1 yapper, and today I am yapping about Marshall.D.Teach, and honestly, Enigma was able to run through his locals and his sort of events and got some really awesome pricing. I want to show that to you guys now. This is the list that he played, and the list will be also in the description so you guys can copy that for your own use. But here's his post where he was able to do a clean sweep weekend this whole weekend. First time playing Teach. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Super clickbait 12-0. He ended up actually going 4-0, 4-0, 4-0 in 3 tournaments, which is true, right? He did go 12-0, which I think is, you know, a little clickbaity, but hear me out. These are all of his matchups, right? And where he went. And again, this is the deck list. I know you can't see all of it right now, but he does have some pretty good pricing down the bottom right there, ticking a lot of things down. And one thing, he is a, you know, black-yellow believer still. However, if opponents high roll against you, he said it's pretty tough. So he decided that Teach, you really isn't any high rolling when you're playing Teach. It's kind of a standard game plan. Yeah, that's why he likes it. It kind of stops everyone's high roll. Doesn't care about your high roll. It just wants to play the game of One Piece. And today, I just want to go through the full deck list. I'm going to be reading every single card. And it's going to be an introduction to Marshall.D.Teach. Before I do that, I do put a lot of work into these videos. I would appreciate it if you guys left a like and a sub. That would be wonderful. Without further ado, let's get into the goo. So with this list, and I want to read through Marshall.D.Teach so you guys have an idea of what's even going on. I first am using this through eggmanevents.com, so I was able to build this up. You can, again, copy the text list down in the description. And we're going to go one by one each card and what they do, and we're going to actually read the cards. So Marshall.D.Teach, he's a 5 life, 5k leader, black, and he actually has something that's really bad. Your on-play abilities don't activate. You don't get to play cards like Gecko Moria, that has an on-play ability. Kuzan has an on-play ability. So you lose out on a ton of playability. Really, really terrible. However, every turn you can activate main. You trash a card from your hand until the end of your opponent's next turn, so, you know, their turn. Your opponent cannot activate on play. So by discarding a card every turn, your opponent is kind of stuck with Teach's ability. Now, I want to say mirrors are probably going to be really funny because basically no one's going to have an on-play ability at all. You're not even going to use the skill, but that is Marshall.D.Teach's skill, and we're stuck in the black, which is the best color for a lot of reasons, but we're going to go over a lot of the cards that you know already, and then a lot of the new cards. So he's playing a few Mansherries. It's just an activate main. You put 2 cards from your trash on the bottom of your deck, and then you recur a 3 to 5 cost black character from your trash and add it to your hand. Good recursion. Not searchable in this fast set. We're also playing Bartolomeo. He's a 2k counter, 3 power, 3k, and a blocker. So very versatile. Very, very versatile 2k counter. We also are playing Shigan, or Finger Gun, which is just you trash 2 cards from the top of your deck and you KO one of your opponent's characters of cost of 5 or less. You're playing 4 of these because you want to survive until the end game. And events, you can play events. We're also playing 3. You can play 4. Black Hole. If your leader is BlackBeard Pirates, choose one of your opponent's characters. Negate its effect in case it has an effect like Borsellino where it can't be KO'd. Then, if that character's a 4 cost or less, KO that character. And it has a pretty cool trigger, which is negate the effects of up to one of your opponent's leaders or characters during this turn. So it could have a kind of interesting thing if your opponent does not play around this Liberation or Black Hole card. And then another card we know is actually Jack. Jack is the 11 cost card, 8k power that just rests to draw 1, discard 1. So it fills up your trash and KOs a 3 cost or less. Gonna be pretty good. He's only playing 2 here. We're also playing 4 Laboon. Laboon! Activate main, rest it. Give up to one of your opponent's characters -4 cost for the turn. So pretty big card as far as that goes. And those are all of the old cards. I guess I threw in one that we didn't know. Those are all the old cards. And the new cards we're going to be having, number 1 is Stronger. Stronger's a 2k counter. He's mostly here for that. And it's activate main. You may trash 1 card from your hand and this character, so it goes away. If your leader is BlackBeard Pirates, you draw a card, so it makes up for itself. Then give up to one of your opponent's characters -2 cost for the turn. So it helps you dig. You do have to discard a card, but pretty good. It gives -2, but it's a 2k counter. That's kind of why it's here. Next we have is Laffitte. Laffitte's, and I'm probably saying their name wrong, it's the same skill as a Bonnie Searcher. You rest it, pay 1, look at top 5, grab a BlackBeard type card, add it to your hand, put the rest at the bottom. 1k power, so pretty standard, like Bonnie level. Next we have Doc Q. You may rest this character. If your leader is BlackBeard Pirates, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 1 or lower. So now we have on-demand KO every turn, and here's another skill. On KO, you draw a card. Super strong, because you don't want to let this sit here. Your opponent's going to attack it. You're going to let it die. You're going to draw a card back, which is probably the biggest problem with this deck. You're probably discarding a card half the time. Next we have is Shiryu. Shiryu is a 2k counter. That's the biggest thing with him. 4k power. With 1 Dawn, when you attack, you can trash 2 cards and draw 2. So it's a pretty okay cycle. It's not draw 2, discard 2 like Sabo, but it does cycle through, and it is a 2k counter, and it is a BlackBeard Pirate, so it is searchable. Next is Jesus Burgess. This character cannot be KO'd by your opponent's effects. If your leader is a BlackBeard Pirates, this character gets 1k power for every 4 cards in your trash. And so that's stagnant. If your opponent, if you have 8 cards in trash, he's a 4 cost 7k. If you have 12 cards in trash, he's a 4 cost 12k. He gets bigger and bigger and bigger as the game goes on, which is pretty cool. Next we have is Van Augur. Activate main. Rest this character. If your leader is a BlackBeard Pirate, give up to one of your opponent's characters -3 cost for the turn. Also, on KO, it does draw you a card, so seems to be okay. Sets up things like your Doc Q or your Jack. I feel like Van Augur into Jack is going to be pretty freaking sick. And then the boss monster of this deck, Marshall.D.Teach, 10 cost 12k. He has blocker, so that's pretty neat. So if you can get to a place where you can play this, now you have a permanent blocker if you need it at all times. Now, activate main. If your leader is a BlackBeard, and this character was played this turn, it gets rated around the on play. So if it's played this turn, activate. Up to one of your opponent's leader's effects are negated. Okay, negated for the turn. Rest of this turn. Then, up to one of your opponent's characters' effects are negated until the end of your opponent's next turn. That character can also not attack, which is pretty neat. So it negates your opponent's leader now, not just anything else. It negates their leader, and it stuns a card. Not even stuns it, it stuns it and removes the effect, which is pretty neat, right? Which there's a lot of questions about how that works. Next we have This Is My Age. It has a trigger, activate the main effect, which the main effect is look at the top 3 cards of your deck and reveal up to 1 BlackBeard Pirates other than This Is My Age and put it into your hand. Then put the rest of the cards into your trash. So it trashes cards, which is pretty good because you kind of want to build a big trash. And then Next, we actually have this, which is Fullalead or Hukunasu. Who knows what's going to be called when it actually comes out in English. But it's Pirate Island. It actually is a stage. This one looks like an event. I don't know why it was printed like that on Eggman events, but it's a stage. Activate main. Trash one card from your hand. Look at the top 3. Reveal BlackBeard pirate cards. Add it to your hand. Place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. Not the trash, bottom of the deck. So it's exactly like German Kingdom or Reiju. Now, as far as this deck plays, I have not actually seen any gameplay, and to be honest, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing some gameplay of this. It seems that it kind of plays itself by removing, playing down 10 drops, chaining those, and just slowly whittling your opponent down. And, you know, it doesn't falter to any high roll potential. You stop high roll potential in its death. But it's obviously not the absolute best deck, but Enigma is slaying with it. We are going to be having a guide on my Patreon very soon, probably within 7 days. So you will see that by next weekend, I believe. And that's essentially the whole video. I appreciate you all coming along, letting me yap, hanging out with me, reading the cards with me. I hope you guys try this deck out, see how it does for you. Thank you all so much for watching the video. I would appreciate if you guys could leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Ciao.